All right, let's go ahead and talk about the multiplication drill that starts with 6 times 10. So that's where we are, Isabella. I'm just going to go down and then I'm going to show you a mental math strategy that I do to make multiplying these easier so you don't have to multiply and carry and multiply and add. Some of you might already do this. It's just a mental math strategy that you could use. I'm going to go down the columns. We should have 60, 55, 120, 110, 70, 196, 126, 156, 90, 108. Anybody need any of those again? 156. Next column. 132, 66, 99, 84, 77, 132, 182, 112, 90, 210. Anybody? Next column. 75, 96, 98, 108, 72, 120, 77, 50, 150, 130, 80. Next column, 168, 156, 104, 81, 65, 98, 120, 90, 60, 180. Yes, ma'am?
What's 13 times 8?
104. Next column, 78, 126, 104, 154, 150, 88, 90, 112, 169, 88. Top of the next column, 64, 143, 105, 195, 117, 99, 168, 66, 72, 70.
Can you, what was 11 times 12 in the second row and?
11 times 12 is 132.
Okay.
And which one?
No, that's
Okay. George?
The last row, 13 times 9 and then 12 times 14.
13 times 9 is 117. 12 times 14 is 168. All right, let me really quickly show you how I break something like this down. And it might help you because we're going to do big sheets like this all week. Because I was able to, on the generator, to click out of all the easy ones and try to make them a little bit harder. So let me show you what my brain thinks of. How can I break apart 13 into something plus something? Easy. Isn't 13 equal to 10 plus 3? Yeah? Watch. You might like this. I'm going to do 10 times 9 plus 3 times 9. Does that make sense? 10 times 9 is really quick. I can do that in my head, right? 90 plus 27 is, so it's 27. I have 7, I have 11. I get the same answer. 9 times 3 is 7, carry the 2. 9 times 1 is 9, 10, 11. I get the same answer. But this is how, in my head, when I don't know exactly what it is, I break it apart. Because in my head, I can do this really quick. Does that make sense how I broke that apart? Let me show you another one, how I break it apart. No, it might help. It's just a mental math strategy. Of course, you can do this, but what you want to start being able to do is almost having them memorized, but when they're not memorized, say to yourself, say you get 97. You go, I don't think that's right because 9 times 10 is 90, so it should be a lot more than 97. It's just a mental math strategy. Let's break apart 14 times 8. Okay? Which is the same as saying 10 times 8 plus 4 times 8. Okay? Plus 4 times 8. This is 80. This is 32. See my easy facts here? I combine them. Does that make sense? right? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to show you how I can break it all apart and I still get, so 8 times 4 is 32, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, breaking them apart.
How would you do 14 times 15?
That one's a little harder to break apart. You want to know what I do for that one? In my head, I know that 15 times 15 is 225, so I just subtract a 15. That's how I do that in my head. How would I break it apart? Actually, this wouldn't be hard to break apart at all. This is 10 plus 4. So 10 times 15 and 4 times 15. So this is 150 because you take out the 0. Does that make sense? Plus 60. So it should be 210, right? So just breaking them apart to then mush them back together in your head.
Can you do another one like the normal ones?
Just like another of the norm, like just a 2 times a 1 digit times a 2 digit. Tell me which one you want to see.
I don't know.
Like on the process of how to break it apart. How about oh, this is a good one. This is one that I do all the time because I always run into this number in like my geometry class. 12 times 6. I'm going to break 12 apart into 10 and 2. Makes sense? So times 6, add them together. 60 plus 12 is 72. And that's just what my brain does. Instead of doing this carry, because in my brain, and this is for my brain, I cannot hold this 1 right here. I can't do that in my brain. I don't know, it's just not my mental capacity is not there to go 6 times 2 is 12, carry my 1, oh gosh, then I do 6 times 1, and usually it's not 1. I just can't hold it there, and then add it to it. My brain breaks like that. It is just faster for my brain. So when we are doing these, I'm just trying to give you a mental math strategy that is possible. Some of these I do have memorized. Some of them I use different mental strategies. And I'll continue to share my mental strategies with you. All right, objective today. Adding positive and negative numbers. Okay, you don't need your book open because I am going to use a few of the examples from your book. And then we're going to get cooking here. I've got 172, classwork 172. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. All right, let's talk about, I think let's just jump right in. Let's jump right in because I want to do an example. We have example 1, and I want to line them up. Example 2 and example 3. So we can compare all 3 of these together at the same time. Nope, don't like those examples in the book. Alrighty, let's go with, I'm going to put my negatives in parentheses. So I have, let's go with negative 8 plus negative 11. Okay? Adding these is really no different than adding them when they're whole numbers. Do you want to know why? What do you think, Joe?
Because they're both negative.
Yeah, they're both negative. So this is what you have to ask yourself. Is my answer going to be positive or negative? What's it going to be, Sarah? No, we're not multiplying. Sorry. We're adding. Yeah, my answer is going to be negative, and then I just add the numerals, right? That easy. So what's it going to be, Holland? Negative 19. So if I have 2 negatives, I know my answer is going to be negative, right? And I just add the numbers. Easy, right? Let me think of another example because I have to get something happen in this example. 32 plus negative 19. Okay, this is what I need you to ask yourself. Ready, George? Is my positive number, no, take away the negative. Which one's bigger? 32 or 19? So is my answer going to be positive or negative?
Positive.
My answer is going to be positive. So what am I going to do here? Joe?
Basically 32 minus 19.
Basically, that's what I'm doing. That is actually what I'm doing. I'm doing 32 minus 19. What do we got? 3, 1. So my answer is a positive 13. Make sense? Okay. Negative 22 plus 7. Think in your head. Put your calculator away. All the way away. Next year I'm going to torture you guys for like 4 weeks with all of this by hand. And guess what? You're going to come out really much better for it, promise.
I like never use calculator.
What?
I like never use calculator.
We'll use calculators starting in chapter 7 next year when we do all these percents and stuff. Okay. Is my number going to be positive or negative? My answer. George.
Positive.
Let's think about this, George. Let's think. Which one, if I take away the negative sign, which one's bigger?
So, negative.
It's 22. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
So, if I have negative 22 and I add 7 to it, is my answer going to be positive or negative? Negative. So, this is the tricky one. You ready? I know my answer is going to be negative. Now, listen. We're going to do a lot of practice. I have 1,000 problems for you to do tonight for homework. I'm not joking. It might be close to 100, maybe more. But they're really easy, and you're going to do them all mentally, and they're really little numbers.
Oh, wait, so you don't have to show us?
Nope.
Oh, wait.
I just want to give you some mental strategies, okay? It's all about the mental today. Okay, how are we going to do this? I need 9 hands in the air. How am I going to figure this out? What am I going to, in effect, do here? I know my answer is going to be negative. Holland?
Negative 22 minus 7.
Okay. I'm going to get rid of the negative sign. Okay? Listen, the negative sign just tells me what my answer is going to be. I need to somehow arithmetically figure out what the numeral is next to this negative sign. Felicity?
I just have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be negative 30?
No.
Or, because are you doing
I know. That's hard, and I'm trying not to give you guys the answer. So let's think. If you need a mental strategy that is very concrete, let's pretend like negative 22 is right here on my number line because it's not too far off. If I add 7, is my answer going to be bigger than 22 or less than 22? Which way on my number line am I going to move? Point in that direction. Yeah. So I'm going to add 7. Ready? This is 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Does that make sense? Okay. What did I in effect do? Joseph?
You added a positive number to a negative number.
I know, but I can't arithmetically do that. I cannot do it arithmetic-wise. George, pay attention. Joey?
You were subtracting a negative number, but the number just got less negative. It just got...
Actually, negative 15 is more than negative 20. Do you believe me?
Yes.
Okay. Felicity?
You're adding more
tricky. I'm not going to give you the answer. So you better just keep your brains a thinking because I'm not giving you the answer. I will ask you my question again. We know that the answer is negative 15. Okay, we know that that's the answer. But without counting on the number line, how am I going to do this with some arithmetic?
You kind of like subtract instead of add.
Absolutely. And what would you subtract instead of add?
7.
Tell me your problem.
22 minus 7.
Absolutely. This is what you do. You know your answer is going to be negative. Listen. Okay, I am going to take 22 minus 7. Does that make sense? Right? Do you understand what we did? I knew that my answer was going to be negative because my negative number, 22, is more than 7. And so since that is more, my answer is going to be negative. Let's try another one. Let's do it underneath here. Example 4. Okay, negative 18 plus 11. Is my answer going to be negative or positive, Lizzie?
Negative.
My answer is going to be negative. Okay, let's use the number line. Yep, just like you're doing. The reason this number, do you know that I use this number line in pre-cal all the time? So you guys use it, my pre-cal students use it, Okay, my number line, I start at negative 18. Which way am I going to go when I add 11? Point in that direction. Woo! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I know this is my answer. My answer is negative 7 using the number line. What is my arithmetic that I actually do, Sarah?
18 minus 11.
18 minus 11 gives me 7. I know my answer is going to be negative, but that's what you're doing. Does that make sense? Let's do one more. Can you do that one really quick in your head? Negative 54 plus 52 is what, Sarah?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Does that make sense? You didn't even have to know. That's the second. That's whatever is up there. Second grade, I think. First grade. You didn't even have to really do anything. You just thought of the difference between 54 and 52, right? And you knew that this was a bigger numeral than that. We're okay there? Okay, let's think. Oh, we'll do fractions and decimals at another time. Let's do a triple really quick. I'm staying on this board so I don't have to keep moving the camera and jiggling Isabella around. All right, let's do something like, go ahead and open up your book. Go ahead and open up your book. I am on page 456. We're on the practice set. We have negative 56 plus positive 96. So this is A. And I'm just going to write it like this. All the parentheses are doing is holding that negative sign next to that 56. But without the parentheses there, it technically means something else, kind of. So, put the parentheses there, yeah.
That would be 96 minus 56.
Okay, so let's think. This is the first thing you ask yourself. George, what's the first thing you ask yourself?
Is the number going to be positive or negative?
Is my answer going to be positive or negative? And what's it going to be, George?
Positive.
Positive. All right, Joseph, what is my arithmetic problem that I'm going to do here?
96 minus 56.
I'm going to do 96 minus 56, 0, 4. So I have a positive 40. Everybody okay with that? Is it bad? No. Okay, let's look at B. I want you to do B all by yourself. Go. George, what's the first thing you ask yourself?
Positive or negative?
Good job. We're going to get you there one way or the other, George. All right, so in effect, what are you really doing here? Is my answer going to be positive or negative, Sarah?
Negative.
My answer is going to be negative. And what do I do, Joe? E?
You add them.
I add them. 145 and 28. So what do we have there? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 6, 7, 1, negative 173. Okay, let's think about C. C is a little tricky. Got a couple things to do on C. Go ahead and rewrite it and start working. And we're going to talk about how you could do this. Goodness gracious, it's 3 o'clock already. Where's the time go? When we're having so much fun. Yes, ma'am. You have it? What do you got?
Do I say the answer?
Sure.
Is it -4?
Maybe. What do you got? 16 minus... No. No, I don't. All right. Isabel? 8. Let me show you. Watch. Look at this. This is how you could break this up. Just watch. Can't I add in any order? And all of this is adding. Do you agree?
Yes.
How many negatives do I have?
8.
Negative 8. Agree? What's my positive?
16.
Plus 16. What do I really have?
24.
Do I have...
Wow.
George, we're just giving you a God bless you today, okay? We love George. All right, George, what do I really have here?
24 plus, what is that, 16?
I don't. I have negative 8 plus 16. Is my answer going to be positive or negative?
Positive.
Okay, and what's it going to be?
24.
Sorry.
Negative 8. Ready? Negative 8. I'm going to add 16.
The positive 8.
Positive 8.
My bad.
You need, so no, you're not alone. You're just the only one I'm giving a hard time to. Okay? You guys got to think on the number line. It's right here. I don't have, sometimes, so this is what happens. You guys are like, oh, the number line's there, but I don't think I'm allowed to use it. I wouldn't just put a giant number line at the front of my room if I didn't want you to use it. Okay? So think if it made sense. Your answer's got to make sense. So I have positive 8. All right. We're going to finish those up. Not for homework. All right. Let me show you your homework.
Is it a worksheet?
Yes, it's a worksheet.
I don't
A packet. Oh, of addition. And it's rather
Is it
thick. But listen, hang on. Before you absolutely freak out.
down?
You have problems on here like 23 plus 2. Okay? And the thing about it is, I can only, the generator that I used for this, I can only get it to, I can't like say don't do a positive plus a positive. So, you should be able to zip zoom through these sheets, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, under an hour.
There's 50 sheets.
No, there's 10.
50
Oh.
sheets.
There's 10 sheets.
You do.
I think you could, if at most, so look at this. I think you could get this first sheet done. First column, is it going to be positive or negative? 23 plus 11, negative 23 plus 11. Negative, what's my answer? 23 minus 11. 12. Do you understand? You do not have to show your work. You can just write your answer. You may not use a calculator. You don't have to draw a number line. I need you to be able to envision this in your head. And I want you not to have to work as hard as my 8th graders did this year, because I'm going to hound you with this year. Okay? When you get to 8th grade next year, it should be easier because we're going to really, really, really hit these hard. So you should be able to get each side under 5 minutes. I mean, you got 16 plus 16. 16 times 2. What is that? 32. So maybe this is going to be good. All right. So this is, I know, and you know what? I never give you a ton of homework. Do you have a ton of homework tonight? Okay. Well, I apologize.
Yes.
All right. So you're doing this. Isabel, so sorry. This is the homework, this giant packet, and you just heard me apologize, but we have to make sure that we mentally can get all this back stuff done. So we'll see you later.